Hey, Todd here with Center Valley Customs. Welcome back. If you're back, if you're not, welcome. I didn't put out a video last week. A few things about that, I guess. I was on vacation and I didn't get back until like Wednesday, I believe it was. And then I worked some late nights and had some stuff going on in the weekend, so whatever. I actually did try to record a video. And then when I went to edit all the footage, 90% of it I had no audio. So that was kind of a waste. Not really a waste of work, but a waste of time because I did all this recording and then came out with nothing. So this may be more of a show and tell video of the things that I did do and whatever. So hopefully this video, we can get this thing running again. Got a few things we got to do, and but first I'll take you through, I guess, some of the things that I did do already, and what issues I ran into, I guess. So one of the first things I did last week was I bought this fuel neck because I wanted to change this one out with a different one. Issue with that was this 12 bolt pattern is larger than this one, so the only way to get around that would be to buy a different fuel cell, honestly. And I don't want to, even though I probably could use this one in the future for some other project. But I decided I'm putting the old one back on. But what I did do was, and the main reason I wanted to replace this is because inside here was like a rollover protection thing. It's just like a flat piece of steel on a bolt with a spring on it, and it closes. So every time you put gas in, you have to push the bolt down to open the rollover protection thing to get fuel in it. Well, I just X'd that thing right out of there, so we're still stuck with this. Although I'm still not going to be happy with it because the hole in the box is like 5 inches in diameter, and it's hard to get your hand in here to open this up. You know, instead of, this is like a, I don't know what you want to call it, a quarter turn locking style, where this is just threaded on. I would much rather have something like that, but whatever. It's going to work for now. Also, that cap is vented, so if it wasn't vented, I'd have to somehow figure out a vent on there. So that was one thing. Next, I got all the carburetor bolted back down. So I am going to run this carburetor again until maybe I do something with my Camaro, unless I can get my carb on my Camaro tuned perfectly how I want it. But I honestly don't know much about carburetors. I'm not a carburetor tuner, so I might have to see if I can find somebody that's good at tuning them and see if they can help me out. When I start it, it seems like it's super rich, and it might just be the choke. So once we get that out of the pull shed, I'll play around with that a little bit. I did make this block off plate for the choke. I have footage of that, and maybe I'll throw it in, but I haven't edited this yet, so I don't know. We'll see. You'll see if I do or not. What else? Headers we put on last week. Transmission lines, I got the radiator all bolted in. I did get new rubber gasket things that go around there to hold the radiator. Transmission lines, I bent up because this has a tranny cooler in the radiator. I bent up some 5/16 lines and then ran them over to there to rubber lines. So I got that all done. The other thing I did was brakes. Finally connected all that, and I did bleed the brakes, but to me the pedal still feels squishy, so I'd like to try to bleed them again. I didn't really have that many leaks. I think I might have one leak in the back that I might have to address if it truly is still leaking. It was kind of wet today, but I don't remember if I wiped it all down or not, because it was leaking and I tightened it up, and I don't know. The other thing with bleeding the brakes is I have this proportioning valve, and when you have this counterclockwise all the way out, it's less pressure than having it all the way in. So I don't know. I don't know if that would make a difference when bleeding or not. It's still pushing fluid through, so shouldn't really matter, but I think I want to bleed them again with that all the way in to get the most pressure to the back. So I don't feel like I'm getting enough fluid to the back. But that's kind of everything I did. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but stuff takes time. So, yeah, I think I put new battery cable ends on. I hate these ones, so I bought the same ones again. But it is what it is. So today, we're going to attempt to put on spark plug wires. Now, as you can see, I have two different styles. That is because I bought these 90s first, and they didn't fit in the flange. So if I try to put this on, it hits the header flange before it gets all the way onto the plug. So I was like, crap, that sucks. So I ordered 45s. These ones, okay? These are like the ceramic style boots, so there's no give. And I know what you're thinking, holy crap, those are expensive, but actually these were like 75 bucks for a set of wires. So it actually wasn't too bad till you buy two sets. But the issue with these now is this one way back here, I can't even get in here. I've tried for like a half hour, whatever. And then I told myself, well, if I have to take the header off to get it on and put the header back on, that's what I'm going to do. So that's kind of what I was going to start with today. Unfortunately, I noticed this one is already broke here. So that sucks. I have to send that back, those back probably, return them, wait to get new ones. But I'm impatient. So this is the plan, and I don't know exactly how I feel about it quite yet. I'm going to attempt to put these on like this, aim down, and then I'm going to run the wires underneath the headers and come up through the back up to the distributor. It'll definitely make it look cleaner, although the whole point of the ceramic boots and stuff is to get the wires and everything that it's close to the header away from the header. So running the wires underneath isn't my first choice. I don't really want to, more or less, but it's kind of what I got at the moment, and I'm not patient enough to wait to order new wires and all that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do right now. But before I go, oh, we're going to have to make these. So these don't have ends on them yet. So in here, there's all the ends, boots, and the, what you call them, the crimps. And then I have my crimper here. I've actually never done this before, I don't think I've actually ever used that tool or any of that stuff before. So this will be a first time for me. But before I go putting ends on, I want to put all the wires on to make sure I have enough length to even go all the way around and up to the distributor. So that's what I'm going to do now. So they give you an assorted lengths. Not all the cables are the same length. So I'm gonna, 7 and 8 should, I believe, be the shortest. So I'm gonna start with those just so I don't accidentally use them. But that should go, 7 should be right here, so that should be fine. Try to just leave these lay up here somehow. Throw 8 on over here quick, just because. Let's try to go underneath here. make some of these plug wires up. I already made one, so I wouldn't look like a complete idiot when doing this on camera. So I already got this marked. I just marked it with a Sharpie at the length I wanted and then gave it 3-4 extra inches. So cut this down, take your crimper. There's ways of doing this without a crimper, but it's easiest with a crimper. But this crimper has, honestly, I don't even know what the one on the end's for, but then you have a stripper and you have the crimper for crimping the terminals on. So I'm going to strip this back about 3/4 of an inch or an inch. I don't know. Pull. Okay. That leaves you with just the core, the wire in the middle. Then take your crimp thing. Whoa, terminal. Now these may be different depending on what you have. If you have an HEI distributor or a regular distributor or like a LS motor. So I'm going to stick this in here just to get it situated, because sometimes when you crimp it twists on you. Damn it. Okay. Then you fold this over, put it towards the bottom, not towards the open side. Push it in until you're about 1/8 of an inch past the part that gets crimped, and then crimp it. See what I just said about this twisting? Twisted. So now you gotta start over. Oh, that's already, I guess it already started to crimp. Some people pre-bend these in so that this doesn't happen. That's what I probably should be doing. Oh, I got this all screwed up now. There it went. I hope. I'm going for it. Yeah, it's not the best crimp, but it'll work. So I'll give her a couple more. Oops. Oh boy. This one like ratchets. And once you get started, there's no going back. Okay, now to give you some dielectric grease, you want to lube this cable or the wire up real good, because these go on tight. Actually, even want to try to get some. Your boots might be different too, depending if you have an HEI or whatever, like a normal distributor with a coil. Whoops. Well, I'm going to have none of this left by the time I'm done. So now, make sure you line the part that goes on the plug on the terminal up with your open boot. And then you just push her on. Okay. Perfect. Great. Done deal. So, that's that. I did buy these. They're like a wire sheathing. I don't know what they're made out of, like a fiberglass material. It just protects the wires so they don't get burned. I'm not going to use them on this. I do have those on my Camaro because my Camaro has headers from hell and it loves eating plug wires. So I've went through probably 2 or 3 sets of plug wires already. So, all right, I'm going to do the rest of them and pull you back in when I get this all done. All right, we got plug wires. This thing is terrible with light, but it actually looks a lot better than I expected. It looks really nice because there's no wires hanging over top of the motor. And they routed actually pretty nice underneath and up. So I'm actually glad that I ended up going with these 90s underneath like that. So now I want to try to get fluids in this thing. I just drained the oil because I actually already had the oil filter off, which I threw in the garbage already, but I already had the oil filter off from when I put the headers on. So I just drained the oil out. I tried to get my camera, what do you want to call it, borescope thing, to see if I could see if this has 4-bolt mains. It should, but I wanted to verify, and I couldn't get it up there far enough. That camera is garbage. So we'll get some oil in this thing, and then we'll start putting some water in it. Alright, we'll get some oil in this. I know what everybody's thinking. Oh, he's going to use T4 or 1540 diesel oil. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to use heavy duty 1540, not T4. Actually, I tried to get T4 at Napa. Didn't have any. Whoa, yeah, just dumped that right up there on the heater box. No big deal. I do actually use T4 1540 in a lot of stuff though. Good stuff. Drink up. I don't know how many quarts this takes, probably 7. Obviously when you change your oil filter, make sure the gasket's not on it, and lube the O-ring, lube the gasket, all the normal stuff you hear that everybody else does. I might keep that for something actually. Okay, we'll put a couple of these in there maybe. And then we'll check it. Stay. Yeah, I better stay there for a little bit. Let her settle a little bit, and then actually I'll start dumping water in here right away. I got some of that over here too. Get out of the way. There we go. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. I think I missed. When I did the thermostat, I drilled a little tiny, like I don't know. I drilled a little tiny hole in the housing of the thermostat. That'll help with vapor lock or any of that kind of thing. So it's kind of a little tip I learned from my father, actually, I think, a long time ago. So. Old timer's trick. Of course, I only bought 2, so hopefully I have some. Missed. Alright, what do we got? We got concentrate, and we got do not add water. I could have swore that one of these I dumped my 4-wheeler into it, so it was like used kind of stuff, like, I don't know, it was new, but I had to drain it again for some reason, so I drained it into a container to reuse at a later time, but it had a whole bunch of stuff in it, garbage and whatnot. Oh, we're getting somewhere. So now all we got is the concentrate. How are you supposed to mix this stuff? Requires 1 to 2 gallons of concentrate. Something, something, something. Maybe I should just put a thing of water in it. Ah. I think this is just water. That's just water. And it's got a bunch of crap in it. Maybe we'll put some water in it after I find one of those jugs. I like how I filled the jug when the hose is like 6 feet away. Dumbass. It's got to be lower than that, but for now it's full. So until we get it running and cycling, that'll be good enough for now. When I rebuilt the motor on my Camaro for the second or third time, I was putting water in it and I could hear the water running into the block, and I literally thought it was going into the cylinders. I was so scared. But everything was fine, so there's that. Alright, check the oil, top that off if we need to. Maybe put some fuel in it. And then it should be ready to twist the key. Unfortunately, I think I might wait to start it until tomorrow. Just because it's late and we got open headers. Not because of my neighbors. I don't give a crap about them. My wife. The real one you gotta watch out for. Let's see what we got here. All water. No, I'm just kidding. Add. Put a little more in there. Should be 7 quarts right there. Let it sit for a while. Alright, maybe we'll put gas in it. See if that leaks. Go from there. Get some fuel in this thing. This is the fuel that I took out of this tank on episode numero uno. The one that was 3 hours long. Had no idea what I was doing. Still don't have any idea what I'm doing. And honestly, that was probably a better episode than this one will be. Please don't leak. Please don't leak. Well, this is just... I'm not going to put this all in there. That's enough for now. Until I make sure I don't have any leaks. Well, our gauge isn't working. Still reading empty. I dumped in that 5-gallon tank, or that whole 5 gallons. Should at least be reading 1/4 to 1/8 of a tank. So that does not make me happy. I don't know. Dig into that another day. New day. No leaks. No leaks on the fuel. No leaks in the coolant. Of course, I have a drain pan underneath, so I can't tell. But it doesn't look like it leaked. Fuel gauge. I don't know what's going on with that. I honestly think that maybe I don't have enough fuel in it, because the gauge does move a little bit, but not. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough fuel in it, which I kind of doubt, because it's a 20-gallon tank and 5 gallons of fuel should be at least 1/4 tank. But I don't know. So I was going to get gas today and I forgot to bring my gas can, so whatever. So today, before we try to get this fired up, I need to for sure replace this valve cover gasket, because when I tried getting that pipe plug out, I cooked the crap out of it with the torch. So I got a pair of Felpro gaskets over there. We'll throw those on. I don't know if I'm going to do both. I probably should, just to get some eyes on the rockers, make sure that they're all good and seated and whatever. And then I have an NPT 1/8 inch plug. On the bottom side of this is a plug. And I had problems with it leaking on my Camaro. I have this same setup on my Camaro. And it would always leak because it doesn't seem like it seems like it's just a set screw and not like a tapered set screw where it really plugs it. And it doesn't get tight until you run it all the way in. But if you run it all the way in, it plugs the hole for the fuel to feed the back, whatever you want to call it, fuel level thingamajigger. So first thing we'll do is get gaskets on this thing, and then we'll replace the pipe plug. Hopefully I got the right one. It says this is an 1/8 inch NPT, but I don't know. It looked too big, but we'll see what it is. And then we can try to get fuel up to the front. I want to try to pressurize the tank maybe to try to push fuel all the way up to the front, so we're not turning it over 3,000 times. And get it fired up and listen to the open headers run. Maybe we'll even back this thing out of the garage. So let's get it done. It's just 5 3/8 bolts. That's it. Or I shouldn't say 3/8, but 3/8 head. Broken push right now, I'm just kidding. So when I tried getting that plug out, I did beat this in, but I actually thought that I cooked this gasket here. But actually it's fine. So with that being said, well, this one is torn here. Alright, we'll replace it. I was going to say I'm just going to say screw it and skip this step, but because that one was ripped there, I'll replace it. So I'll get this out. I'm going to beat this, see if I can straighten this up a little bit. These stamped steel valve covers never seal right, so pull this off, see if I can straighten that up, and then we'll get her put back on. Okay, so there was 5 bolts that hold this on. There's 7. I just can't count. Put this in here. Put this in here. Verify this is the right one. Looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good. Okay. I'm going to grab some 1/4-inch bolts. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to glob this on here. I said I was going to go thin, but actually I'm probably just going to put a big glob on here. That should be plenty. Now I grab the bolts so I can stick these in here, which of course they don't fit very well. Gotta stretch this gasket here. Okay, let this one sit for a while, set up. And then we'll pull the other one off, do the same thing. Alright, Taylor's here now. He helped me pressurize this whatever fuel up here and bleed my brakes again. Remember when you have like 4-piston brakes and you have a bleeder on both sides, to bleed both sides, not just one of them. Although it didn't help. Battery. This is loose. Positive. Alright, let's see what happens. I don't know about timing. I think when I stuck it in, it was like 8 degrees before initial, maybe. Let's just see what happens.
Yo! Yep. Yeah, out of that
Pipe.
plug.
Oh, you know what?
Never. Did you get a gauge?
No, I got a plug that's sitting on the table over there that I was going to replace before I did this.
Perfect.
Whoops. Pipe plug, kind of have to put that in. Alright, so we're putting this pipe plug in here. Before, it was just, where'd that little set screw go that I thought I set?
I mean,
There was a little set screw that was on the ground. Anyways, it's gone.
right there.
Oh, never mind, it's back. This little set screw was in there, but I don't think these threads are tapered, or it's not tapered, so it doesn't plug the hole, which I had this problem on my Camaro. So I went and I bought an actual brass pipe plug, so we're gonna plug that off. That's so you can put like a fuel pressure gauge on there, but I don't need no fuel pressure gauge. I know it's all there. So we're gonna get this tightened in here and then fire this back up, get some heat in it, and see if this fan kicks on. Top it off with coolant, and actually probably should check the training fluid too. All right, take two. Loud.
Yep.
Timing light on it, and maybe check the levels of the car. I saw
Whew, that paint smoke is rough on the ice.
bad. It's killing me. It did say that the first time starting up it was going to burn off, but it didn't say it was going to smoke the whole place out. I'm going to check the timing. It's still leaking fuel a little bit. Well, it runs again, so that's good. I did have to set my floats in the fuel bowls. Mine has a screw in here. My Brawler that's on my Camaro has just a sight glass, which is a lot nicer in my opinion. But take this out, and then you can just crack this flat blade on the top. Crack that just barely, and then you can adjust this nut here to raise your float level up and down. You want it just enough to where this is just barely trickling out of here. Or if you have a sight glass, it should be, generally I set it on the sight glass to just be on the bottom of the sight glass. Some people set them halfway through, but I guess from what I've heard and read and whatever, it's better to have it just on the bottom of that sight glass. I need to check my timing. Kind of checked it while it was running, but I couldn't see what the marks actually were on this tab. Way down yonder. Probably can't even see it. But tab on the crank down there. So with that only shows me initial timing, not all-in timing. So obviously you have your base or your initial when it's just idling, and then once you get above 3,000 RPM or whatever, honestly it's actually whatever your springs are set at in your distributor, once they're all the way out, that's when you set your total timing. I'm not exactly sure what a big block should be. I would assume it's no different than a small block, which I think is like 32 to 36, something in that range, maybe even 38. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But once I get it running again on idle, I need to set the base timing. It's better to set all in than base timing because you can change obviously your degree of advanced within your distributor. Or if you have it locked out, it doesn't matter. But it is what it is. That's what we got. So we got to set base timing at some point. Before we can do that, there is where my oil pressure sensor tube comes in, which is way down in here. It would probably be easier to show you from underneath, but it runs down right down here. That tube got kinked and cracked. So as we're running it this whole time, we're dumping oil out underneath the truck. So I had probably a half a quart of oil underneath the truck running it. So before we can set timing or even worry about any of that, we need to fix that oil pressure line. I'm hoping it's just like a compression style that I can just take the nut, take it off, and then cut the line shorter and move everything. But I'm not sure if I can. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And then once we get that done, maybe we'll set timing, but we'll go from there. All right, I got the oil pressure line in. Had to go inside and fill up my belly. Talked to my wife. She went to go meet a new baby. Her friends had a kid today, or yesterday, I guess. Congratulations to them. Also, there'll probably be a LS1 Camaro for sale coming up here pretty soon. Might get a good deal on. Just kidding. Anyway, we'll get this fired up again, and then I'm going to try to throw a timing light on here and get it timed in. Initial 750, I guess it should be about 14 degrees before. So right now I know we're not even nowhere near that. So got the distributor loose, get her fired up and try to get it timed in. Something does not sound happy, and I am not sure what it is. You can fuel out of that back bowl up there. Gasket's probably junk, because I know it's tight. Okay, maybe it's not tight. Something is not happy. I don't know what it would be though. It sounds fine except for one cylinder or something. It almost honestly sounds like a spun bearing or something. I don't know. I hope that's not the case, but it's a real click, 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 click. Wrapping it off probably didn't help. Well, I think I figured out where the noise is coming from. Well, I know the area is coming from anyways. While this was running, like an idiot, I would not recommend anybody doing this. I climbed up here, listening, because I can't hear the noise on the bottom. So if it was like a spun bearing, you would hear it down below. Although you do have exhaust just screaming in your face. And you put your hand on any of the valve covers, it is smooth. It's not like it's missing. But I climbed up here and I stuck my head down and it's coming from that distributor. So I don't know what, why, how. Maybe the rotor is hitting the terminal or something like that, but the noise is definitely coming from back there, way back there. So it's either that distributor or that's really all it can be. Unless it's down in the tranny, but I'd be able to hear it from down there. So hopefully it's just something I did stupidly, like not tighten the rotor down, or I don't have the rotor, I don't know, maybe even the cap isn't sitting flat and it's cocked to one side, so it's catching one of the terminals. But I'm going to pull the distributor cap off and investigate and see if I can see any terminals that are beat up, or see if their rotor's all smashed or whatever the deal may be. So that's the next step. let's get this figured out. All right, so Travis and Troy boys here. Troy got himself a new ass hauler, UTV, so he can haul around one more woman, I guess. I don't know. Got the distributor off, and my suspicions were correct. I am a complete idiot. This rotor, one of the screws was loose, or came loose, because that terminal should look like this terminal. And that one made contact with some stuff in here apparently. So now I'll end up putting this one, that one's garbage. I missed. That one's garbage. That's going to go, no, that one's not garbage. That one's good. That one's going to go on there. That's from the old distributor. And then we'll put this cap back on because all these pins look just fine. They don't look like they're too beat up. So that'll be all right. Put all that back on there. Get this fired back up. And then hopefully we don't have any noises anymore. All right, here we go. Part 2. Take 2. Something. Take something. I don't know. Once oh yeah, open the door because this thing is rowdy. Should run a little better, I hope. Here we go. You wanna give me some battery power? The ground doesn't really sit on there at all. I don't know. You just gotta kind of pound them on. What do you mean it goes to the bottom? Oh yeah, that's fine. It'll be good enough. Ready? Yep. Fire in the hole. Sounds like a bunch of jungle people beating on drums in there.
Hard to tell if it's headers popping or if it's
Yeah.
It's got to be that.
crank running off the oil pan.
I mean, it's rowdy for, I think, a stock motor for anyway. It sounds rowdy.
It sounds like your timing was okay. I mean, throttle response was good. Idle good.
Yeah, it should be pretty close. I mean, I had it, but I'd have it locked down the distributor, so. Huh. I think I'm going to pull that thing back apart again. Take a look at it and see if it's not the distributor. I mean, that thing was bent. Well, after kind of discussing, I don't think it was the distributor at all. Actually, we don't. We all don't think it was. I think that's just a coincidence that I'm an idiot and didn't tighten it down. Because after looking at like the cap and the rotor in here, there's no way possible that that could even come anywhere near close to hitting those terminals. And if it would have hit those terminals, this thing would have been destroyed. That big block would have made that Swiss cheese. So what we're planning on doing now, we think it's the exhaust. So we're gonna just half-ass rig up some exhaust on the end of the collectors, or yeah, on the headers, and just try to get the noise away, because when you stand in the back of the garage, it sounds exactly like what it sounds like up here. So I think it's just the exhaust, whatever. So we're gonna throw some exhaust on, just half-ass, and see what it sounds like. All right, we got some redneck boom tubes hooked up here. It's not bolted in or anything, it's just sitting in there, but we'll see if it gets the noise back there or takes care of the noise anyways. So here we go. Take 17, 15, 18, 17. It's gonna be loud right there. All right. Oh, please go away. Completely gone. Can't believe that's all it was. Not as snappy anymore. Yeah. Wow. Thank God. Wow. That was it. That was the only issue. Wasn't even an issue, but for some reason, everything happens for a reason. If I wouldn't have taken that cap off, I would have never found that loose rotor, and it could have been really bad.
Just sound echoing from underneath.
Yeah.
Open headers. Sounded like every 97 Ford with the manifold busted.
I feel stupid because when I ran it and I was like, man, something just does not sound right. Something's not happy. And then I ran it again, just listening and stuff, and I'm like, God, I think it's just the exhaust. But then I'd run it again, and I'm like, that can't be the exhaust. And then I climbed up there and I'm listening, and it's like, it is coming from right there, like dead center distributor, something in there is screwed up. And it wasn't. Well, it was actually, the screw was loose, but that's neither here nor there. All right, we're about to put this box on. We're out in my pole shed where I've had the box laying for the last year. None of us have mics on, so I don't even know if you can hear me right now. So, let's, ready? Hey, is everybody ready or no? Okay, now is everybody ready? This is cutting in my fingers. Look at Todd.
Turn the other. Wait, we gotta turn Todd. Get past the damn car.
Now, don't set it on top of that gas cap. Okay, right?
No. Wait. There.
Ouch.
Come check this gas cap. I think we're on. Bring it up, Pops.
No, let her down. Down.
What do we have?
Um,
Oh, we're sitting on that.
oh, we gotta go that way, don't we, or no?
You gotta take it.
These wires are all tangled up. I don't know where to go though.
Back.
Where are they? Well, can't see nothing. Okay, go ahead, set her down. These just plug into here.
Over there. Get about an inch. Here we go.
Oh, terrible. Oh, it's set out. Huh?
Skewed on the inside.
I mean, it's gonna rattle by the time we get it up to the house anyway. As long as it's on, I can always move it around myself. Oh, shish kebab. I don't want to pick the ass end up so we can focus. Okay, go ahead. Something like that. Well, there it is. Box back on it. Sat down low. Looks good. Don't worry about that thing. Who cares about that? Looks good. Needs a wash. A couple fine tuning things. Get the coilovers all locked down, get an alignment, get exhaust on it, and should be good to go. Hopefully it's not so windy that you can hear this. Looks good. Well, that's it. That's this video. A lot done. Box on, runs, drives. Not much left to do. More or less, exhaust. I got to bolt the box down, wire the tail lights, alignment, lock down the coilovers, and that's pretty much it. This is done. I don't know. I'm excited to get done or be off of this and onto something new. We'll be working on Taylor's Chevelle next, getting the LS slammed in it. There's a lot of work to be done on that because there's steering, motor, brakes, pretty much everything, interior, like a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to get off of this and onto something new, and then sprinkle some stuff in between. That's it. I'm sorry if this video was kind of scatterbrained from the stuff that I recorded previously and lost audio and whatever from last week. But I appreciate you watching. Stick around for the next one. I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of happy right now, honestly. So thanks for watching. Smash the button if you could. I'll catch you on the next one.